So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to perform your very own first 72-hour fast and how to do it properly and how to make sure that you don't feel like total crap while you do it, and so you can have a great and pleasant experience. So let's jump into this. Now, first things first, and it's unfortunate that I have to say it, but I will say it just in case. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a dietary professional. Go seek professional guidance before doing anything I say in this video. Now, granted, fasting is very taboo. There's not a lot of research around it. If you ask these medical professionals or dietary professionals to do it, most of them are going to give you a gut reaction and say no. I just want you to put that out there. But please, if you have any concerns, just don't do it without contacting a medical professional. Anyways, disclaimer aside, let's jump into the fun. So, with the fasting for 72 hours, now I'm going to lay out a schedule for how you can do your first 72-hour fast. Now, if 72 hours fasting is too scary for you, let's say like you haven't missed a meal in your recent memory, or you haven't missed a meal in your life, and you're that type of person who always has to eat all the time, 72-hour fast, if it sounds scary to you, and it could be a little bit traumatizing because, you know, you get hangry after one meal missed, and I know some of you are out there, and that's cool, that's just how we are. Then you could shoot for a 48-hour fast. But I will not recommend anything less than a 48-hour fast for your first time. In fact, I would recommend stretching yourself to 72, because this is where you see all the benefits starting to come in by the end of the last day. So the reason why you want to do something that is longer than a 48-hour fast is because when you stop eating, the first 24 hours, your body is burning off all of the glucose that's in it. So you're really like getting rid of all your stored sugar. So it's the glycogen, excuse me, burning off all the glycogen, which is your stored glucose in your body before it can tap into fat. Now, when it does that, when you start hitting the bottom of that glycogen tank or the glucose tank, you're going to start feeling like crap. I'm not going to lie to you. And if you have ever done keto, if you've ever done, you know, Atkins, if you've ever done low carb, whatever you want to call it, it's that transition period where you stop eating carbs and you're not eating carbs anymore, where you just have that like keto flu. And for those of you who are very experienced when it comes to ketogenic diets or anything like that, you'll be familiar with it, and it might not even be that hard for you. But I just want to put that out there. So it takes about 24 hours plus or minus 4 hours depending on your activity level. So like maximum by the 28th hour that your body's going to completely switch over to fat, and you're going to feel great again. So if you only do a 24-hour fast, you might be too scared to continue, because you might feel like you're going to feel like even worse and worse and worse, and this is a negative story that your body's telling you. Now, if you feel like you're in danger, if you feel like something's wrong, please, by all means, break the fast. I'm not asking you to do something that you're not comfortable with, but also realize there has to be a level of courage to continue going with fasting. As I mentioned with my previous video, people have fasted for a lot longer, especially with that medically supervised fast of 300 plus days, over a year long, and the guy didn't die. And, you know, our ancestors have done this. We didn't always have, you know, woolly mammoth or buffalo or whatever to hunt down every single day, so we fasted, you know, and this is why we're here today. So, once you get past that hump, that's where you get to start experiencing the benefits of fasting. So I don't want to spoil it for you in terms of what you're going to expect every single day, but I'm going to give you a little bit of preview. And also because everyone experiences these things differently. Like when I first did my first fast, I had some experience doing 1 day fast about once every other week or so. And that like was my maximum experience fasting. And I've dabbled with intermittent fasting, and I've also done ketogenic diets. So for me, the onboarding process was a little easier, so to speak. For other people that I know that have very limited experience with ketogenic diets or with intermittent fasting, it may be a little bit of a heavier lift. I'm just telling you, I'm being real about it. So after you get past that keto flu, or, you know, fasting flu, whatever you call it, flu, you're not actually getting sick, you just feel sick in terms of like being weak and whatnot, then your body will stop being as hungry all the time, and this is really great. So you'd think that, and a lot of people think that you're going to get more and more and more and more hungry, but actually the research shows, and Dr. Jason Fung has done a lot of research in this, after about the first day or two, your hunger actually goes down. And really, when they've done a study removing food from people's diet, they found that their hunger hormone would spike at their normal feeding times. And it had no correlation with actually having to eat or smelling food or anything like that. So there's a lot of programming that'll make you feel hungry. So your hunger will pretty much go down, but you might have some spikes of hunger around the time that you're normally used to eating. And this is what's going to happen. Now, by the second day, by the way, you should have a journal and just journal down your thoughts, anything you're thinking throughout this fast. You're going to thank yourself later when you review it. But by the second day is when you'll start to experience things. You might experience them on the first day. The first day, you're just going to feel weak, tired, out of it, etc. By the second day, you're going to have some more mental clarity. You're going to be able to think through all your emotions. You might even observe emotions coming up, or nightmares that you've had, or good dreams you've had, or thinking and reflecting on things that have happened in your life, maybe even childhood trauma. Anything emotional might actually come up for you. And so just let it happen. If you feel like you need to cry, cry. If you feel like you need to yell, yell. Let your body process the emotions as they go out through you. And if you don't experience this on the second day, totally fine. But starting the second day is when you'll usually see that. Now, when it goes on to the third day, if that hasn't happened for you, you're definitely probably going to experience it, especially if you don't have that much experience fasting. You experience some emotions. And also, like I mentioned in my first video, your body's going through a healing process. By the third day, your autophagy levels ramp up to 300%, roughly 300% of what they are normally. So your body's cleaning up all these dead cells in your body, cleaning up skin issues, cleaning up, any other, problem, so to speak, with your body, and just kind of flushing stuff out. So you're kind of detoxifying in the process. So by the third day, you'll experience that. And then once you end your fast, you're going to eat a normal meal. You can eat a slightly larger than normal meal, but please know, Vegas buffet, like triple portion meal, you're gonna feel like crap and sick if you eat a huge meal after you're done fasting. And that's about it. So this is how you're gonna start your fast. So that's the expectation, right? So how do you actually logistically do the fast? So my recommendation is you're gonna eat your last meal for supper. So say it's, we'll start with Monday because it's the first day of the week. We are going to start with Thursday. Okay. So say it's Thursday night, 6 p.m. You go to bed like a regular person. So 6 p.m. is a fairly okay dinner time. It's not right before bed, but if you have a super early job, make it 4:30, 4 o'clock, whatever. But let's say 6 o'clock for normal people. You're gonna eat your last meal at 6 o'clock. It's gonna be a normal meal. I would actually recommend that it's a meal that makes you feel good. And I don't mean like carb up good. I mean like it's got like a good balance of vegetables, maybe some fiber. If you eat meat, it has a decent portion of meat. Just a meal that makes you feel like not like totally comfort food, but like just a grounded, solid meal that you feel good about eating. You know what I mean? And you're gonna eat that meal, and then you're gonna be done. Your fast starts at 6 p.m. You're gonna fast starting from that point for 72 hours. Again, change it to 48 hours if 72 hours is not right for you. I will say though that if you go into the fast saying I'll do 48 and then maybe 72, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna end your fast at the 48, including myself having so much fasting experience. Every single time that I said I'm gonna fast for 48 hours and maybe I'll extend it to 72, my body takes over and I just want to eat at 48. If you set the intention to do 72 and you give yourself permission to back out if it's really, really scary for you at 48, then you could do a 48-hour fast. But I wouldn't do the opposite way. I would do the way where you aim for the longer one and go for that. So during this entire fast, so you started at 6 p.m., you're gonna be drinking 2 liters of water for every 24 hours. And it doesn't have to be exact. You don't have to drink the whole 2 liters. And yes, you can have more than 2 liters. 2 liters is kind of a baseline. And for some of you who drink a ton of water every day, like for me, I drank a metric ton of water, not literally, before I started fasting. I drank between 1 and 2 gallons a day, minimum 1 gallon, probably 1.5 gallons would be my average. And days that I worked out, I was drinking 2 gallons of water a day. It was ridiculous. I was always going to the bathroom, but I always was like super thirsty. Going to 2 liters, I was like, dude, I'm gonna be so thirsty on this diet. But what actually happens is with the 2 liters, you're gonna mix in electrolytes with it. And electrolytes are the absolute key that make this all work. So at least to make you not feel as crappy. So with the electrolytes, you'll find you don't even need to pee as much. You're actually not really retaining that much water. You feel better and you don't feel like you need to drink water. So for me, going from drinking almost 2 gallons a day when I'm working out, I can barely finish my 2-liter bottle in a 24-hour day fasting. So you're gonna get yourself a 2-liter bottle or 2 1-liter bottles, and you're gonna put some salt in it, and I will put the formula down below, and I'll make another video on this formula showing you some example ingredients. But for now, this is what the formula is. You're gonna have sodium chloride, AKA table salt. I actually highly suggest and prefer that you find yourself some natural pink Himalayan salt. Legit, don't get the dollar store stuff. I've heard of stories where that stuff is actually just dyed pink regular salt, and then now you're ingesting food coloring. And the way that you can tell that it's fake pink salt is if you put it in water and the water turns pink, then it's fake because that's a food coloring. So you want to get the legit pink Himalayan salt, which is actually not going to turn your water pink. And the reason is because pink Himalayan salt is only about 85% sodium chloride or salt, and the other 15% are trace minerals like zinc, magnesium, etc. There's these other things that your body needs, and I just think it's healthier to get a little bit of hit of everything. So you're gonna get the pink Himalayan salt. The second thing you're gonna get, and yes, this is required, I always get asked by people if they can pass on this, and the answer is not if you wanna have a good experience, you can't pass on this, is potassium chloride. So that is potassium salt. It is not sodium salt, it is potassium salt. And they do sell it in a bottle. It's called NoSalt where I'm at. There's probably other different versions of it. It's really important that you get the potassium chloride and that you get the actual powder. Don't get capsules or anything like that, because I've seen capsules of that. The third thing you're gonna get is probably another easy thing, is baking soda or sodium bicarbonate. So you're just gonna get some standard baking soda. Get yourself some like organic one if you can. Baking soda is like the cheapest thing I've seen. So just go wild on some baking soda. And the last thing you're gonna get, which is fairly common but uncommon to find the right one, is magnesium sulfate, AKA Epsom salt. Now I know what you're thinking. You're gonna go to Walmart and you're gonna go to the, aromatherapy or whatever skincare aisle, and you're gonna pick up a 5-pound bag of Epsom salt you dump in your tub. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. There's no, quality control in terms of ingesting it. There could be added chemicals or scents, for the bath salts of taking an Epsom salt bath. And you really don't want to put that in your body. When you're fasting, you're trying to remove things from your body and you're adding all these extra chemicals. Don't get that. You're gonna get food grade Epsom salt, aka magnesium sulfate. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it in some Whole Foods have them, I found, some of them don't. You're gonna look for food grade or organic or in the consumable section. And another way to know that you can actually consume it is it might have USP on it. So USP means that I forgot what it stands for, but it's been certified for consumption. So you can find that. Those are the 4 ingredients: pink Himalayan salt, NoSalt, aka potassium chloride, magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salt, and sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. So you get all 4 of those things. You're gonna pour them in your 2-liter bottle of water, and you're gonna drink that for every 24 hours. So you started your fast at 6, let's summarize. You're drinking 2 liters of water a day roughly, with the salts in them, and you need all of them. And you're gonna, for a 72-hour fast, you're basically gonna drink 3 of these bottles throughout your fast. And your fast is gonna end around 6 o'clock. One thing I will tell you as a warning, when you're ending your fast, your body's gonna try to convince you to break the fast a couple hours early. There's something that I call finish anxiety that I see in many, many people, including myself, but having awareness that your body's gonna have finish anxiety will prevent you from finishing early. So knowing, like, if you're gonna refeed again at 6 p.m., so say we started on a Thursday, so you're gonna fast through Friday, you're gonna fast through Saturday, and you're gonna re-eat on Sunday night at 6 p.m. for a 72-hour fast. Know that probably around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever, you're gonna get like super hungry. You're gonna feel like, you might even get the shakes. You might feel like you need to start eating soon again. I'm telling you, that's a normal thing. It happens. Your body's like really anticipating the refeed. I would say sit with that emotion, give yourself a nice meditation, note all the feelings you're having about that, and then wait for the time to actually break your fast. So that's the fast. Take notes of everything. I will make another video describing how to make that saltwater formula, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, if you have any questions on how to do the fast, feel free to hit me up. I'm happy to help people. It makes me happy that I can share this with other people because it was shared with me and it changed my life, and I hope that it changes yours too. So hope to see you and the camera again soon. Talk to you later.